15,000 people made the Tuskegee Airmen legendary, but you only know the names of maybe 10. Here's the scandal. The women who kept those planes in the air have been erased from history, and without them, there would be no Red Tails. Tuskegee, Alabama, 1941. While the world watched 13 black cadets report for flight training, the experiment everyone expected to fail, hundreds of women were already at work. Women whose names you've never heard. Women who made history possible. They were mechanics, parachute riggers, control tower operators, gate guards. According to National Park Service documentation, between 15 and 19,000 people participated in the Tuskegee experience between 1941 and 1949. University of California research confirms at least 41 women served as nurses alone. But the real number? Much higher. Here's what they don't tell you. Irma Dryden walked onto Tuskegee Army Airfield as a nurse on her very first day and met Charles A-Train Dryden, a flight instructor and one of the second class of black pilots to ever complete the program. She didn't just nurse injured bodies. According to oral histories collected by researchers, she nursed souls. The psychological pressure on those pilots was crushing. They knew their success or failure would determine whether America believed black people were intelligent enough, brave enough, skilled enough to fly. One mistake, one crash, one failed mission. It wouldn't just end a career, it would end the dream for an entire race. The women understood that. They worked knowing what was at stake. 3 women were specifically assigned to train cadets in parachute maintenance. Think about that. Your life depends on a parachute opening at the right moment. Those women packed and repacked every chute, checked every line. Because if a pilot died because equipment failed, that's not just a tragedy, that's ammunition for racists who wanted the program shut down. Women worked as aircraft mechanics, trained side by side with men at Chanute Air Base in Illinois until Tuskegee facilities were ready in 1942. According to PBS Oral Histories, many of these mechanics were college graduates who couldn't pass the flight physical, maybe just astigmatism, but they refused to give up. They became top-notch mechanics instead. Mildred Carter worked in the Commandant of Cadets office. Sergeant Amelia Jones served for 2 years in the 99th Pursuit Squadron under Colonel Benjamin O. Davis. In 2014, 70 years later, she finally received her official red Tuskegee Airmen jacket. 70 years. Here's what the mechanics knew that history forgot. Those pilots flew hand-me-down planes, used P-40s, cast-offs. One mechanic later said, "We got used planes, just like a used car, and we tried to restore those things. I give the pilots a lot of credit that they got up and flew those things after we worked on them." But they did more than restore. According to documented accounts, those mechanics worked with pride that bordered on obsession. They knew the pilots trusted them with their lives. Pilot families remember their fathers saying the ground crew was just as important as the men in the cockpit, because those planes were kept in excellent condition. They didn't sputter, they didn't stall, they didn't fail. The women cleared land for runways, delivered supplies, operated control towers, directing traffic while planes took off into combat missions. They worked in hospitals, offices, mess halls. And when pilots came home broken, physically or mentally, the women were there. But here's the tragedy. We know 992 pilots graduated from Tuskegee between 1941 and 1946. We know their names. We celebrate them. But of the 10,000 plus support personnel, the mechanics, the nurses, the parachute riggers, the women who made flight possible, most of their names are lost. Ruth Jackson, a research librarian, has spent years collecting oral histories, desperately trying to document the women before their stories disappear forever. She said they believed just as strongly as the men that racial barriers were ridiculous. They were devoted to the cause. They felt special to be part of it. And when the Red Tails became legendary for never losing a bomber, When Tuskegee Airmen flew over 15,000 combat missions and destroyed hundreds of enemy aircraft. When President Truman integrated the armed forces in 1948 because the experiment proved excellence. Those women made that possible. So here's my question. If you've never heard the names Irma Dryden, Amelia Jones, or Mildred Carter, why? If the women who kept planes flying, who saved lives, who bore the same pressure and faced the same racism have been forgotten, what does that say about how we remember history? Drop a comment naming one woman from this story. Share this if you think they deserve recognition. And follow for more untold history, because the people who made legends possible shouldn't be forgotten.